Hello explorers. Today we are going on a multiplication quest. Let's begin with a simple example. Imagine you have 3 baskets and each basket has 4 apples. You could add them like this. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. That works. But multiplication gives us a shortcut. 3 times 4 equals 12. So multiplication is just a super fast way of adding equal groups. 3 groups of 4 makes 12. That is the heart of multiplication. Now let's learn the 3 important words in multiplication. Take this example. 8 times 5 equals 40. The multiplicand is the number being repeated. So here that is 8. The multiplier tells us how many times we repeat it. So here that is 5. And the product is the final answer. So here that is 40. A simple way to remember it is this. Number being repeated. How many times? Final answer. That's all. Now let's see multiplication as rows and columns. Suppose a board has 8 rows and 8 columns. If you try to count every square one by one, it takes time. But if you know multiplication, you can do it quickly. 8 times 8 equals 64. So the board has 64 squares. This is why multiplication is useful. It helps us count faster when things are arranged in equal rows and columns. Now let's learn some special multiplication rules. First is the commutative rule. That means the order does not matter. 6 times 5 equals 5 times 6 equals 30. Next is the associative rule. That means when 3 numbers are being multiplied, you can group them in different ways. 4 times 6 times 3 equals 4 times 6 times 3 equals 72. Next is the identity rule. When you multiply by 1, the number stays the same. 18 times 1 equals 18. And finally, the zero rule. When you multiply by 0, the answer becomes 0. 17 times 0 equals 0. These are like magic shortcuts in multiplication. Now let's learn a really smart move. Sometimes a big multiplication problem can be broken into smaller pieces. Look at this. 5 times 12 plus 5. Instead of doing everything at once, we can split it into 2 easy parts. 5 times 12 equals 65 times 5 equals 25. Then we add the answers. 60 plus 25 equals 85. So breaking one big problem into smaller pieces makes the work easier. That is a powerful math habit. Now here is a very easy speed trick. When you multiply a number by 10, 100 or 1000, you do not need long multiplication. You just add zeros at the end. 59 times 10 equals 590. 68 times 100 equals 6800. 762 times 1000 equals 762,000. Why does this work? Because 10, 100 and 1000 are made with zeros. So multiplying by them shifts the number and adds those zeros at the end. It feels like copy-paste for zeros. Let's use that same trick in a slightly bigger problem. Suppose you want to solve 387 times 30. First, ignore the 0 for a moment and do 387 times 3 equals 1161. Now bring back the 0 from 30. So the answer becomes 11,610. This is a great trick for multiplying by numbers like 20, 30, 40 and so on. Sort the smaller part first. Then bring the 0 back. Now let's fight a bigger boss, a 2-digit multiplier. Take this example, 137 times 23. We break 23 into 20 and 3. First, 137 times 3 equals 411. Then, 137 times 20 equals 2740. Now add them. 2740 plus 411 equals 3151. So, 137 times 23 equals 3151. Here is the important idea. When you multiply by the tens place, like 20, you must remember its zero value. That is why place value matters. Now let's go even bigger. A 3-digit multiplier. Take this example. 432 times 350. Now look carefully. In 350, the ones digit is 0. So that part gives nothing. Then we multiply using the useful place values. 432 times 50 and 432 times 300. Those partial answers are 21,600 and 129,600. Now add them. 21,600 plus 129,600 equals 151,200. So 432 times 350 equals 151,200. This looks scary at first, but it becomes easy when you respect place value and handle one part at a time. Now let's use multiplication in real life. A baker makes 765 cakes in one day. How many cakes would that be in 365 days? That means we calculate 765 times 365. When we solve it, the answer is 279,225 cakes. That's a huge number. And this is exactly why multiplication matters in real life. Without multiplication, counting something this big would take forever. Now let's learn one last smart skill. Fast estimation. Suppose you see 38 times 44. You can estimate quickly by rounding. 38 becomes 40, 44 becomes 40. Now multiply. 40 times 40 equals 1,600. That is not the exact answer, but it is very close. The real answer is 1,672. So estimation helps when you need a quick idea instead of a perfect answer. It is very useful in shopping, checking totals, and mental math. Now let's finish the quest. Today you learn multiplication is fast repeated addition. Rows and columns can be counted with multiplication. The three keywords: multiplicand, multiplier, product. Special rules with order, grouping, 1 and 0. How to break big problems into smaller parts. How to multiply quickly with tens, hundreds and thousands. And how to estimate when numbers look large. That means you have unlocked a new math power. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and multiplication will start feeling easy.